order of operations. When you are solving a problem, let's say you have 3 plus 2 times 4, does it matter which order you do the solving? Can you do 3 plus 2, 5 times 4? Or do you need to do multiplication first? If we did it the other way, what would we get? We would have 3 plus 2 times 4, which is 8. That would be 11. So you can see that it does matter which order you do it. So the question is, what do we do first and why? So let's look at a problem. Here's a problem. There's a snack shack that sells gummy bears for $2 and ice cream bars for $5. You buy 3 ice cream bars and 4 packs of gummy bears. How much money did you spend altogether? So we can set this up. We have ice cream bars and we have gummy bears. And it says that you buy 3 ice cream bars. So we have 3 ice cream bars up here. You have 1, 2, 3 ice cream bars, each for $5. And down here you have gummy bears. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 gummy bears, right? So we can tell from this that the total amount of money that we spend on ice cream bars is 5 plus 5 plus 5, which is $15. And the gummy bears, it's 2, 4, 6, $8. So we know that altogether we spent $23. This can also be written 3 times 5 is 15 for our ice cream bars, right here. Oopsie. This can also be written 3 times 5 is 15 for our ice cream bars. We have 3 ice cream bars at $5 each. 3 times 5 is 15. And here we have 4 gummy bears at $2 each. 4 times 2 is 8. So that's a total of 23. So if we were asked to write an expression or an equation that represents this, a good way of doing that would be to do 3 times 5 plus 4 times 2, right? And so here we have 3 times 5 is 15 and 4 times 2 is 8, which is 23. Now if we look at this equation and we did it from left to right instead of doing the multiplication first, if we did that, we would have 3 times 5 is 15 plus 4 is 19 times 2. And that would give us a total of 38, which is wrong. We know that if we have 3 ice cream bars at $5 each and 4 gummy bears at $2 each, we need to do the multiplication first. And then we can add those 2 numbers together. So we know that the 23 is the correct answer. Okay, let's look at another problem. Here we have Bob and 5 friends are surfing at the beach and get hungry. They decide to go to the snack shack. Each person buys a burrito for $5, avocado for $1, and a drink for $3. How much money did they spend altogether? Write an expression for solving the problem. Okay, if we look at that, let's shift things around. Here we go. Here we have the problem set up. So we have Bob and his 5 friends. Friend 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So altogether there's 6 people, right? And then we have burrito, avocado, and drink. And Bob and his 5 friends all get a burrito. They all get an avocado, and they all get a drink, right? So we have $5 each for the burritos and the avocados and the drinks. So we have, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 5. So altogether they spent $30 on the burrito. For avocado, they have 6 times 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is $6 on the avocado, and 3 times 6 for the drinks. So they spent $18 altogether on drinks. So we can write this like this. We have 6 times 5 for the burritos, 6 times 1 for the avocado, and 6 times 3 for the drinks. And we add them all together. So here we have 30 plus 6 plus 18. And so, if you add those numbers together, 30 plus 6 is 36, and then you add 10 to that, it's 46, and then add 8 to 46, we get 54 total. It's good when you can to practice your mental math, to try to do these additions in your head and multiplications in your head and not use a calculator. Okay, so let's see. So that's one way we could write it. What's another way we could write it? Another way we could write it was we could say each person, like Bob, he spent 5 plus 1 plus 3. 5 plus 1 plus 3. He spent a total of $9. 5 plus 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9. He spent $9. And friend 1 spent $9. They each spent $9. So the other way you could write this expression is you could use a parentheses. And you could say 5 plus 1 plus 3. Your burrito plus your avocado plus your drink is $9 times 6. Because there's 6 people that each got the same thing. So this is another way that you could write the expression. Either way is correct. Okay? Okay, so order of operations. Does order matter? We've already kind of said that it does. But let's look. What operations do we have? When I'm talking about operations, we have various different operations to choose from. So you try to come up with what operations you think we have. You go ahead and spend a minute and pause the video and write down what operations you have. Okay, so hopefully you came up with multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. There's also parentheses and exponents. Okay, here's just an example of an exponent right here. 4 times 4, you can say 4 squared. Or if you had like 2 times 2 times 2, that would be 2. And how many 2's do we have? 3. So that would be to the 3rd power. These are exponents when you have a number and then that number is brought up to an exponent. These are exponents. Okay, so let me erase that. Okay, so we have all these different operations. Which ones do we do first? We already decided that we do multiplication before we do addition. What other things do we know? So we do, parentheses actually end up coming first, and then exponents, and then multiplication. Multiplication and division are on the same level. So if you have a multiplication or division, it doesn't matter which order you do that in. And then last but not least is the addition and the subtraction. Okay? So if you have, like for example, multiplication and division, if you have 3 times 2 divided by 2, it's not a very good example, but you have 6 divided by 2 is 3. You could do the division first too. You could do 3 times 2 divided by 2 is 1. That's 3. It doesn't matter whether you do the multiplication or the division first. If they're right next to each other, they can either one can go first. Okay, so let's see what else we have on here. So let's just do a couple practice problems and look to see if order really does matter. So here we go. We have a problem. 3 times 4 plus 2 plus 6 divided by 2. So if we look back, well, this one it says, let's just solve it from left to right. If we solved it from left to right, that would not be the right way to do it. But let's just do it to see if we get the right or the wrong answer. So if we go from left to right, we have 3 times 4 is 12. Then we have 12 plus 2 is 14. Then we have 14 plus 6 is 20. And 20 divided by 2 would be 10. So going from left to right, we get an answer of 10. Okay, so if we were to take this same problem and instead of doing it from left to right, but doing order of operations, using order of operations, let's see what we get. Now, using order of operations, there's a mnemonic, P-E-M-D-A-S. We do things in that order, and P stands for parentheses, E is exponents, M is multiplication, D is division, A is addition, and S is subtraction. So that's just a way to help you remember what to do in what order. So if we use PEMDAS, or order of operations, to solve this problem, we will get the right answer. So let's do that. Let's use that method. So 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2, plus, okay, now here we have 6 divided by 2 is 3. Okay, so we did the multiplication and the division first. Now we can do the addition and subtraction. So here we have 12 plus 2 is 14, plus 3 is 17. So that is going to be the correct answer, 17. And you can note that when we solved it the other way, just from left to right, we got a 10. But the really correct answer is using order of operation, which is 17. Okay, so here we have some warm-up problems to practice. So on this page, we have the warm-up problems. And if you get stuck, the answers are on the next page. So go ahead and write these down or solve them on your device, but go through and work through these and try to get the answers and check your answers on the next page.